It was a clip of the coaches holding the players accountable. The DB coach
Aubrey
holding,
Pleasant, Okudah.
Yeah, Okudah. So he's sitting there and he's yelling repeatedly, "Do your job, do your job, do your job." And what they didn't show later on, that Jeff Okudah came out, he started playing better football. He started knocking down passes. He started being a better defender. He started doing his job. And then it also shows him, right? So right here, it shows him, do your job. But after this, it has another clip of the coach consoling him because this is what I know you can do. Continue doing what you're doing here. This is what the people need to see. But the media are only going to show this clip, but it's another clip of him consoling him, saying, good job, way to come back, way to fight. And they need to play that video as well, right? And so Okudah's going to be okay eventually, but I want to see him go through this season, and then we'll see. All right, God, I had a lot of faith in him going into the season, saying, he's going to come back and he's going to play better. That first half, he didn't play his best football. He came back, started making more plays, ended up getting hurt. We need to get the status on this injury, but overall, I wasn't impressed in the first half. Second half, I was more so impressed and more encouraged. I was really impressed with the run game. That's our strength, obviously. They did a great job running the ball, being able to move the ball on the ground, but you have to be able to get the ball in the air as well. So we didn't start doing that to the fourth quarter consistently.
Yeah. Along the ice says it means nothing because they didn't, but could you imagine if Goff went to the end zone and pulled it off? We can only think about it, however. And, that's the line. The NFL is a scoreboard business, and you talked about the Jeff Okudah thing too, and I feel bad because he ended up with the ruptured Achilles, and he will be out for the season. So I feel bad being critical, but at the same time, he wasn't good enough, and that's what happens. And look, Joique, I can separate the two. I don't have a huge problem, and I wouldn't even necessarily make a big deal about the Aubrey Pleasant and the coach thing. Because you guys, and I've always said this about NFL players in particular, you guys have to go to a place, when you walk out between those lines at 1 o'clock on Sunday or 4 o'clock on Sunday or Monday night, you guys have to get to a place mentally and emotionally that the common person can't even imagine. I mean, we have no frame of reference for the place that you guys have to get to mentally and emotionally. So emotions are going to run high. And I heard Dan Campbell speaking earlier this week where he was talking about the fact that you do see that a lot. And he goes, you really see it a lot in practice. But the media's not there, so it's it doesn't get covered the way that these do in games. But Joique, I don't have a huge problem with it. That happens a lot, doesn't it? I mean, let's be real. You guys are playing for the highest stakes with the highest emotion. That happens a lot where coaches and players, I'm married. I have dust-ups with my wife and stuff like that. You argue. You go to battle with these people every single day.
It's a difference between yelling at a guy, right, and coaching them and being disrespectful. I don't think what that coach was doing was disrespectful.
Right, I agree.
think he was coaching. He was coaching, and he was being passionate when he was coaching. And if players say, you look at guys who played for a long time, who had great careers, who are Hall of Famers, say like Shannon Sharp. He can take you coaching him, yell at me, coach at me, but don't disrespect me as a man. And I don't feel what that coach did disrespecting him. I think it just brought the best out of him because he came back out and played better. And so I like that type of coaching. I liked it when I played. I had coaches who would hold me accountable. And then when I do something well, make sure, let me know I did that well as well, and we'll go from there. And it was a great opportunity to kind of see that in that game, how that coach would get on him, hold him accountable, and then he played well. Then he went back to him and said, that's what I like to see, because at the end of the day, we're in this together. Like, we're in it together.
Well, your jobs are linked, really, when you boil it all down. Because if you fail, not only will you be let go as a player, that coaching staff's going to get gassed, and everyone's out of a job.
Everyone's out of a job. So when I was there, we had Curtis Monkins. It was me and Reggie Bush. We had just set the the NFL record for running backs having 500 receiving, 500 yards in the same season. It had never been done before. And then right after that year, he got a job offer to Tennessee, and he turned it down to stay there with us. And so that was kind of cool to kind of know that, because he wanted to stay there to be part of something that he helped build. And so, like, it's not only our jobs are entwined, but you kind of get that attachment to your coaches or your players, and you feel confident with them.
Right, and that's
what it is.
Yeah, no, that is
what it is. I mean, because it's not too many coaches you can respond to. It's not too many players that you can get into all of their heads, but that's what makes a good player. That's what makes a good coach, being able to get into your player's head and kind of get them to buy into what you're trying to sell. And so I was blessed enough to have one of the best coaches in my career with Curtis Mockins, and also Ted Williams, and also Deuce Staley was there as well. So for them to all, some shape or fashion, all be connected, because Curtis Mockins actually worked under Ted Williams for a while, which I didn't know that until after the fact, and then Deuce Staley as well. So,
you know, Joique, when you look at it too, have you ever? I guess my question is, have you noticed, or did you notice through your career, that guys became more or less coachable because of all the cameras everywhere now? We see this more really than we've ever seen it before. Have you noticed that too, where as the coverage has increased, as the cell phone cameras, all that kind of stuff, have you noticed that it's covered a lot more than it used to? Because I feel like this goes on all the time. Because it does, I'm sure.
You know what? I don't think guys aren't coachable. I think the media makes it more than what it is. Like, the guys are coachable, right? Like, if they were to catch, say, a Dez Bryant on the sideline, and you see him yelling, but you don't know, you can't see his words. They're saying that he's throwing a fit on the sideline, but he's actually passionate. He might be talking about something else. And the people on the sideline know that, but the media is saying one thing, and then you have people who get their own perception of what the media portrays or puts out there.
And it was glorious for the media, too, because it was Okudah. Like, let's not gloss over that. You are right when you just, if it's Dez Bryant, if it's T.O., for here in Detroit, it was Okudah. So that was media gold.
Yeah, it was media gold. So you take all this information, you dissect it, and then you only know what you see, right? My eyes see this, so this is what it is. But in retrospect, where's the other video of him coming back and sitting down and grabbing his head and them headbutting and saying, good job? And like, where's that video clip? They're not going to play that. They're only going to play him getting, welcome to hell and I'm your captain.
Yeah. That's essentially.
Yeah.
Don't steal my line.
I told you that.
Ever steal my line.
Flint's very own Art in the producer's booth.